And welcome. This is the Red Pill Dispensary. So basically, I am back on the restream, which I should have been doing this whole time. Of course, D Live, which is supposed to be the Wild Wild West. They're not enabling me. But I also signed up. I saw some YouTuber bring up Power. I signed up for that, and also LBRY, which isn't an option on Restream. So I don't know. I'm gonna rethink how I'm gonna go about things. So let me check how you guys doing here in the chat. What do we got for chat? What do we got? All right. Let's see. In the spotlight, and there's me. How you guys doing? Did you guys have volume on that? Let's do a quick countdown here. First of all, do you have volume right now? You should. I don't see any reason why not. And first of all, since Dame Jade just popped up, I want to say this at the top of the hour. I want to thank Dame Jade. We have made it to our goal of the green screen and then some. So I'll be making a new goal, but because of Dame Jade alone, along with Tony's contributions, we have made the green screen. She even had a little bit extra, that was so nice of you, Dame Jade. So because of Dame Jade, we'll be getting one of the, higher end green screen productions. So I'm excited about that. Alright, so you guys hear me. I just want to make sure you guys can hear this countdown, because we are about to get into some stuff that is crazy. Alright. Alright. So, bang. Alright, now, by the way, a lot of times, you guys, if you guys check my Twitter, about an hour to a half hour before a show, you'll get an idea what the show's gonna be. You'll be kind of ahead of the curve. I ended up changing the name of my I ended up making it the Red Pill Dispensary. I might even take out the red, and just make it Red Pill Dispensary, just like the YouTube channel. There is another one, but my channel is much bigger than this, and they try to do that. I have a lot of haters. They try to hit me from every angle. And it's funny because the people that they stem from, I don't go after them, but they make enough enemies. It's not even so much the top guy that makes the enemies, it's the other ones. And things get taken down. I had nothing to do with it. It's the last thing on my mind, to be honest with you. The only time I really watch the channel is when it looks like something live, especially like if I was in Seattle. Man, I would be doing all kinds of stuff from that zone, getting all kinds of footage. So I guess that he was trying to do, but at this point, you're either in it or you're out of it. I'm not sure if they would let him in. All right, so anyways, so that's the Twitter. I just want to bring this to your attention now. Why? Why is this just popping up as XKGB? You shouldn't be doing that. Is that what it came up as? XKGB, whatever? You gotta be kidding me. You know, sometimes when you use some of these things, let me just make sure. I'm gonna have to change that if that's the case. Because what the title should say is Deagle. And, it should say Deagle. Yeah. No bueno. Okay. So I'm gonna have to do some of this crap live. Wow, that's crazy. So how do I can you even make a change live? Alright, I'm gonna have to make this live for everyone watching. The title, I don't know what this restream thing does. I mean, we already did the KGB guy. This is about Deagle. And I had sent out a message to you guys earlier to check out Deagle. Well, Deagle, they go around and they go all over the world, different intelligence agencies, and they get as much information as they can. And based on what they get, they predict what's going to happen in the years to come. And I was extremely surprised. Now, I've seen this before, where the U.S. looks like it's like on its way down. But I was thinking, you know what? They just don't know the plan of, the Q plan. And they'll see, And lately, there's been I've noticed this lull. Almost like this the depressive mood amongst the right. And a lot of it has to do with these statues being torn down. It's like our history is getting torn down. It seems like they're in control. But that's the exact spot that you want your enemy. All of a sudden, Biden's coming out of the basement. Which, actually, I want to get into right now. And by the way, when I was doing that countdown, could you guys hear the music? Yes or no? So when I was doing the music, you couldn't hear it. The countdown, you guys couldn't hear it. All right, so I know what to do. Okay, so first of all, let's get the gaffes. Let's get the gaffes of Biden in before we get into this heavy stuff because it is unbelievable. Again, so I changed the my Twitter back to Red Pill Dispensary instead of Dispenser. People were just having too much trouble finding it. Gaffs. I don't even know if I'm spelling it. FF. Is it? Yeah. Okay. Gaffs. In Biden's first and you gotta add from basement. I mean, he even admitted that it was in strategy, and you can tell he's a very honest man. Don't get me wrong, he's dishonest behind the scenes and what he does, but kind of like in his later days, not being all there, he'll blab out things, and no wonder they keep him in the basement. He's like, yeah, well, Okay, they gave me a list as to who to take questions from. So I guess I'll start with you. Is it Kim at ABC? Okay, which proves that they already have the questions set up for him and who to call on and who not to call on. And then he goes on to say, oh, I don't know if they want me talking about that. Like, he's talking about his handlers. I mean, is this going to be our president? Like technocracy that is really run by Obama? Because Obama is active. John Kerry is active. I mean, I really wanted to play all the calls for you as well and really show you how active these guys are and continue to be. Oh, I can't wait to hear Kerry's testimony. That'll be a good one. From basement. Come on. Alright. Oh, is that on the View? You know what? All I have to do really is filter it down to the past 24 hours. Just today. Well, today would mean after midnight. Shit. So past 24 hours. I'll do this week. I thought I had past 24 hours. What is going on? Because the thing is, I'm not signed in. Video. Relevance. That should be enough. Upload date. What is going on? Alright. If I just type in Biden, it should come right up. Like, this is like the news. Are you kidding me? Well, that's pretty good. He does a good job. Check this out. So tell me if you guys are getting audio or not. If not, I can fix it. How's that?
Welcome to Hannity Tonight. Buckle up. We have a ton of breaking news to cover, including shocking new video from New York City, where again the violence tonight is erupting in the police budget. Get this, it's getting slashed by a whopping $1 billion. That is
$1 billion out of 6. By the way, to be exact. There we go. Alright, so you guys can hear that?
In Seattle, look at these images from the Daily Mail. Our very own Dan Springer and his crew, they were
you guys got to see some of this stuff. Alright, so you guys can hear it now?
They were harassed, they were stalked by the Summer of Love Zone protesters in the Chaz Zone. He will exclusively tell us, thankfully his crew, he'll tell us everything that happened, and he will tell it here first in an exclusive interview and report coming up. We'll also hear from Eric Trump tonight, Senator Graham, Mark Cuban tonight, and Governor Noem on the Mount Rushmore event that is coming this weekend. First, we have major news developments to report for the very first time in 89 days. Wow, he came out of the bunker. He came out of the basement the week the ever-confused Joe Biden actually emerged and actually answered a few, well, as my friend Leo Terrell said on radio today, lollipop interviews from the media mob. And as you can imagine, it was pretty hard to watch. The digressions, the stammering, the confusion, all on display. And Biden, you can just feel the tension. He's like hanging by a thread the entire time. You know, if you're on his staff, you know what they're thinking. Please, just another minute or two, and we'll pull you off the stage. Now, you could tell he was trying so hard, but the struggle is real. Take a look.
The struggle is real. He's true. Watching that, the struggle is real. Check this out.
The Defense Production Act, critical for delivery of supplies that were basically needed.
Can you tell us what you would do to Putin if this is true and in general for what's happened in the past?
I can, but I will not, but I will tell him. Where's the Wilmington, the Delaware State News? I mean, Delaware News Journal, I should say. That's my hometown team. It's fundamentally different than pulling down the statue or going into the Lincoln Memorial and trying to pull, not Lincoln Memorial. That's a bad example. The Jefferson Memorial and grabbing Jefferson off his chair.
Now, it took to the end under the presser when, yes, Fox News' own Doug McElway asked a tough but important question, and Biden first referred, this was very weird, to Doug as a lying dog face. It just like he spurted that out of nowhere and then gave this incredibly, well, let's just say strange answer. Watch for yourself.
Last question real quick. Some have speculated,
You're a
sir,
lying dog
that you are subject to some degree of cognitive decline. I'm 65. I don't have word recollection that I used to have. I forget my train of thought from time to time. You got 12 years on me, sir. Have you been tested for some degree of cognitive decline?
I've been testing and I'm constantly testing. Look, all I got to do is watch me, and I can hardly wait to compare my cognitive capability to the cognitive capability of the man I'm running against.
Okay, let me get this straight. He's constantly being tested for cognitive abilities?
He can't wait.
Constantly tested for a cognitive decline. Now, after hearing that, I'm wondering if maybe all Americans need cognitive testing regularly. That concerns me. Does that concern the American people? Is anyone in the mob and the media, are they going to ask the ever-forgetful, weak Joe Biden why he's being constantly tested for cognitive decline?
Yeah.
Because aside from that one question from Fox News, Biden was given, well, as Leo Terrell was saying all day, the lollipop question treatment, the white glove treatment from members of the mob. It was, by the way, almost as if they were trying to protect him, as they have for 89 straight days. Many of the questions surrounding mask wearing and whether or not he had been tested for COVID-19. Now, of course, everyone that is around him, and he admitted all this today, including all of his handlers, Secret Service, his family, they all get tested regularly, and frankly, I think they should. He's a presidential candidate, former vice president. As for the masks, well, I've been saying this forever. Personally, I was at the epicenter of all of this from the very beginning. I don't have a problem wearing masks. You know why? Because I love grandmas and grandpas and moms and dads, and they're the most vulnerable, and I wouldn't want to live with myself if I happened to get it and pass it on to people that may potentially die from this. And also, I'm going to be very selfish about it. If I have to wear a mask to go to a baseball game or an outdoor concert or a football game in the NFL or college, and that's the only way I can get to see the game, it would work. By the way, I know, at least on one little measure that we have anecdotally, I've said it so many times on the show, once, twice a week, I went to my local grocery store. I saw the same people. I even put the guys stocking the shelves that I saw every week. I put them on my radio show. The same cashiers. I actually like the fast checkout myself, but I saw the same people. And thank God, I would ask every week. Nobody contracted COVID because they all wore masks. So for me, anecdotally, the other thing is we got to remember this is only temporary. Our scientists are going to get us through all of this and probably sooner rather than later. But now Biden, everyone around him is tested. He's using the mask as a wedge issue, a political issue, and using that as a way to attack President Trump. By the way, he wasn't wearing his mask when he was at his, first press conference in 89 days. And again, I'll reiterate, everyone around the president must and is tested. The same for Joe Biden. So Joe's mask wearing is purely symbolic. He was against the travel ban. That's not symbolic. That was the one he said was xenophobic and hysterical and fear-mongering. Because that decision by Donald Trump, 10 days after the first identified case of corona in America, that saved probably hundreds of thousands of Americans from contracting the disease and tens of thousands of others from dying. And for the left, everything is political, especially 126 days before an election where you will be the ultimate jury. It always is symbolism over substance. The mob and the media, they didn't press Biden about the politicizing of mask wearing. They didn't ask him about the violence, the lawlessness erupting in America's cities. They didn't ask Biden about the murder epidemic in Chicago. They didn't ask about why didn't he and Barack, why did they ignore their entire 8 years in office, all of that violence, all of those shootings, all of that death, all of those innocent victims from the city of Chicago, Barack's hometown, for 8 years while they were in charge? They didn't ask him about the violence in the summer of love zone, spaghetti potluck dinner zone, the Chaz Chop zone. They didn't ask about the insane defund the police movement that's going on in the country. They didn't ask Weak Joe about his enthusiastic adoration for the former Klansman, Robert KKK Byrd. They didn't ask the ever-forgetful Joe about his comments about his words, the racial jungle, or his words, predators in our street speech. They didn't ask Forgetful Joe about his past support for segregationists. They didn't ask Joe about his involvement in the Flynn probe. They didn't ask why he promoted the Logan Act to try and trap Donald Trump. They certainly didn't ask, and why he lied about it. They didn't ask him why his son, zero-experience Hunter, got a sweetheart, $1.5 billion deal with the Bank of China, no experience that we can find, right after stepping off Air Force Two on his trip to Asia and China. They didn't ask about Burisma, his lack of experience with Ukraine, or energy and the millions he made there. They didn't ask why he's supporting the new Green Deal or Ocasio-Cortez advising his campaign. And by the way, I could go on, but we only have an hour. Now, predictably, the mob, they were gentle, they were kind, they gave him, the special treatment that he doesn't deserve. They didn't interrupt him, they didn't shout their questions, they didn't fight, they didn't try and grandstand, they lobbed one softball question after another. And for reference, let's take a look at a side-by-side comparison between the treatment of President Trump versus the treatment of the ever-weak, forgetful Joe 30330. Take a look.
I wonder, where do you think the race stands at this moment? What keeps you up at night as you look ahead? And can you maintain this advantage without campaigning in a traditional way?
Today, the U.S. hit a grim milestone of 1 million cases of the coronavirus. Back in late February, you predicted that the number of cases would go down to 0. How did we get from your prediction of 0 to 1 million?
Do you believe that if those reports are true, that Trump is guilty of violating his oath of office?
Black unemployment went up by 0.1%. Asian Americans unemployment went up by 0.5%. How is that a victory?
You are something.
If elected, how are you going to get Americans on the same page?
Wow. Sadly, but, predictable at this point. And get this, during this first presser in 89 days, the ever-forgetful, weak Joe Biden actually admitted that he had a list of preferred reporters that he was supposed to call on. Now, what's interesting to me about this is I've never seen Donald Trump ever do that.
No.
Never, ever. I've never seen any president ever do this, or presidential candidate. Very interesting.
I never seen nothing like this.
Makes me wonder. Take a look.
I'm happy happy to take questions if you have them. He gave me a list. How recognized is Alex AP out there? Yes. I'm sorry. Who was I supposed to go to next? Anybody? I got to make sure I get the Wilmington newspaper here before I leave here. I'll be dead.
I don't know, Joe, if you're supposed to say that out loud. Probably best kept secret. Probably staff, well, he might have told you, but you probably forgot. Let me state the obvious once again. With the exception of a few outlets, few reporters, Rush, Mark, Laura Ingraham, a few of us on Fox, the mob in the media is almost entirely in the tank for Joe Biden. 99% are hacks. Journalism has been dead and buried since 2007. Now, we were pretty much almost exclusively the only ones to talk about Barack Obama, Acorn, who Frank Marshall Davis was, the Church of GD America, Ayers and Dorn, and community organizing. And all in all, we asked the tough questions. And what was black liberation theology, for example? The fake journalists, New York Toilet Paper Times, and the rest of them, they were busy asking Obama, well, questions like this. Take a look.
During these first 100 days, what has surprised you the most about this office, enchanted you the most about serving in this office, humbled you the most, and troubled you the most?
Let me write this down.
Surprised, troubled.
I've got, what was the first one?
Surprised.
Surprised.
Troubled.
Troubled.
Enchanted.
Enchanted,
And
nice.
humbled.
And what was the last one? Humble?
Humbled. Thank you, sir.
Enchanting. Once again, we'll take it on this show. We'll do the job they will never do. We will vet honestly the presumptive Democratic nominee. The American people deserve that. Make no mistake, the next 126 days we will bring you everything you need to know about what is at stake for your kids and your grandkids if, in fact, he and the radical extreme socialists ever take power, because it won't be pretty. I have a book coming out in 35 days, Live Free or Die, America and the World on the Brink. That's not hyperbole. In Latin, I put in Live Free or America Dies. They want to take us down the failed road of socialism, and their agenda is the most radical ever proposed in the history of this country. It will make America unrecognizable. That's how bad it'll be. That's why your vote is going to matter, especially in Florida, Ohio, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, New Hampshire, and Maine's 2nd Congressional District. We will leave no stone unturned. We will expose every scandal. We'll ask...
Now, what I can't believe is that so many of these states are even in contention. Now, mind you, yes, this guy just came out of the basement. I mean, when you have nothing, when you're in the middle of a pandemic, and, everyone looks to president for answers to a situation where there are no, definitive answers. So, what I ended up coming across, this thing called Deagle. Now, a lot of you guys probably heard about this. I've done my research on Deagle before, and what they do is like I said, they go around to different intelligence agencies. They use different type of algorithms, and they're able to predict not only the population, but the GDP, how much money will be spent on military, things like that, like 5 years down the line, 2 years down the line. So this is what just came out from Deagle today, and I want to share this with you guys because it really... it was eye-opening. So, you know what? I'll just go straight to the source. So check this out. We're going to have to enlarge the screen. Okay. First of all, the top 3 countries. This is in 2025, according to all of their AI algorithms. The top 3 countries in the world, in order, will be China, India, and Russia. Then Japan, then Brazil, and then the U.S. Now here is where it really makes me think. Especially, did you guys see the latest tweet from one of the latest tweets? He's probably tweeted 1,000 times since, but when you see tweets like this might be the answer for that. And it would basically mean that this tweet that he puts out, we do not win. So let's see. Is this like a funny thing? Hold on.
I'm going to try to say this politely, is to lower the rhetoric based on division. Stop appealing to I'm going to try to say this politely, is to lower.
Usually when you see those people, they're like, arms in the air, flailing. They're all the different style. Sometimes they're the best part. But she had no idea what a bunch of well, we gotta this guy. There's gotta be a plan to replace him, and he even admitted they are constantly testing his how do they call it, his cognitive capabilities. So that's a red flag right there, that he let out. So let me see. This video looks interesting. Before I get to where I'm getting at, this looks interesting actually. This is how Trump basically has trumped the old god.
Has replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment.
Yeah, lost. Just checking on you guys.
With a new government controlled by you, the American people. The Washington establishment, financial and media corporations that exist for only to protect and enrich self. Establishment has billions of dollars at stake in this election. For those who control the levers of power in Washington and for the global special interest, they partner with these people that don't have your good in mind. Our campaign represents a true existential threat like they haven't seen before. This is not simply another 4-year election. This is a crossroads in the history of our civilization that will determine whether or not we the people reclaim control over our government. The political establishment that is trying to stop us is the same group responsible for our disastrous.
Let me give it a pause. Come on. Although I definitely heard the speech before, I just never seen it with these groups. Or maybe I have. Really want to get to this. But I thought I could play this real quick.
We, the people, reclaim control over our government. The political establishment that is trying to stop us is the same group responsible for our disastrous trades, massive illegal immigration, and economic American foreign policies have bled our country dry. The political establishment has brought about our factories, our jobs, and they flee to Mexico, China, and other countries all around the world. It's a global power structure that is responsible for the economic decisions that have robbed our working class, stripped our country of its wealth, and put that money into the pockets of a handful of large corporations and political entities. This is a struggle for the survival of our nation. And this will be our last chance to save it. This action will determine whether we're a free nation or whether we have only the illusion of democracy, but are in fact controlled by a small handful of global special interests rigging the system, and our system is rigged. This is reality. You know it, they know it, I know it, and pretty much the whole world knows it. The Clinton machine is at the center of this power structure. We've seen this firsthand in the WikiLeaks documents, in which Hillary Clinton meets in secret with international banks to plot the destruction of U.S. sovereignty in order to enrich these global financial powers, her special interest friends, and her donors. Honestly, she should be locked up. The most powerful weapon deployed by the Clintons is the corporate media, the press. Let's be clear on one thing. The corporate media in our country is no longer involved in journalism. They're a political special interest, no different than any lobbyist or other financial entity with a total political agenda, and the agenda is not for you, it's for themselves. Anyone who challenges their control is deemed a sexist, a racist, a xenophobe. They will lie, and then again, they will do worse than that. They will do whatever is necessary. The Clintons are criminals, remember that. This is well documented. And the establishment that protects them has engaged in a massive cover-up of widespread criminal activity at the State Department and the Clinton Foundation in order to keep the Clintons in power. They knew they would throw every lie they could at me and my family and my loved ones. They knew they would stop at nothing to try to stop me. Nevertheless, I take all of these slings and arrows gladly for you. I take them for our movement so that we can have our country back. I knew this day would arrive. It's only a question of when. And I knew the American people would rise above it and vote for the future they deserve. The only thing that can stop this corrupt machine is you. The only force strong enough to save our country .
Okay, so I've played that for you before. But by the way, the black family that is putting up that flag has a striking resemblance to, oh my, why can't I think of his name? The poor guy who was choked for that 8 minutes and 46 seconds. He has a striking resemblance to him that didn't go unnoticed, especially watching this video. So, alright, so let's see what else we got here. Yeah, start all over, you kidding me? Alright. Anyways, Trump says something. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, some pretty tough words on China. And we are getting pretty close to this war with China. So first, I'll veto the Defense Authorization Bill if the Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren of all people amendment, which will lead to the renaming plus other bad things of Fort Bragg, Fort Robert E. Lee, and many other military bases from which we won 2 world wars is in the bill. Wow. So they want to change the name of these historic bases too. I mean, this is getting out of hand. This is really getting out of hand. And then, the ballots. New Jersey, 7-7 primary is mail-in only. Machine voting for disabled only. Well, chalk went up for the Democrats for New Jersey. 1 in 5 mail-in ballots rejected as fraudulent in New Jersey election. Wow. Same RCD, no ballot. Some RCD, wrong party ballot. USPS is not a safe means to vote. And what did I tell you guys way back? I'm talking about the first stimulus bill. And, I didn't hear this from anyone else, but right away I saw she wanted to bail out the USPS, yet at the same time use USPS as basically the ballot box. For those of you who remember that show, I mean, unbelievable. That is unbelievable. Bail out the ballot box. Like there's not some guy at the top that, gets a huge chunk of cash and, make sure that something like 1/5 of these votes disappear. But there's something I'm getting to. So that's where I stopped there. Oh, who's busy today, huh? Consumer confidence is jumping. I mean, they call it Brexit. A lot of black people are moving to the Republican Party. They're starting to see through all the bullshit. He knew the questions and still couldn't answer them. Mainstream media being laughed at all over the world. While Biden comes out of the basement and agrees to finally answer a question or two, our intrepid press corps used the moment to ask him to explain over and over just how awesome he'll be. I mean, it's amazing when you look at Donna Brazile, what's she doing? She's the one who gave Hillary the questions to one of the debates. The debates, I think he won all 3, but one of them where I could see why people would think she won, she had the questions to the debate. That's the one debate that people would give to her. It was the first one. It is Joe Biden's campaign for president. A sound film. I mean, look at the stocks doing very well. I mean, I think it's a good time to invest. I mean, I'm not I don't want to give people advice and they come back to me, what the hell am I? But I did, so I put my money where my mouth is. I invested what little I had. Because I finally got my stimulus bill check, which took forever. So where's this thing? He writes about China. Did they delete it? I think he just tweeted so much. The Lone Warrior. Lord DNI Ratcliffe statement on impact of unauthorized disclosures on force protection. Oh, this is about the like murder for hire in Afghanistan, and the head of the DNI, who would know, but the other side, I could see them saying it, and I mean, it makes sense. He's always been like an avid Trump supporter, which is why I know that things are coming down the pike, especially if you guys have been around for. Where is this? Alright. Anytime we see her. Anytime we see her, we gotta play her.
A Democrat city. President Trump stands against defunding our brave police officers, caving to mob rule, and cancel culture which seeks to erase our history. Let's be clear. The rampant destruction of statues is not a part of any ideology, but this anarchy is aided by failed Democrat leadership. And as President Trump has tweeted, these statues, quote, are great works of art, but all represent our history and heritage, both the good and the bad. It is important for us to understand and remember, even in turbulent and difficult times, and to learn from them. So let's stand for law and order, for peace in our streets, and against anarchy. This is President Trump's vision for the future. And with that, I'll take questions.
Thank you, Haley. I know you said that President Trump was never briefed on these reports about the Russian bounties and whatnot, but can you say that?
Wow. I mean, he just played it. So, yeah, check that out on your own time. She kills it every time. Alright, well, you know what I'm looking for is along the lines of, I can't believe this. Let me see. China. And it's real tough talk with China. Basically, like, we will go to war. Without saying it like that. Basically says, like, I mean, what's the next step? Like, come on, let me see what I want to see. I thought I had retweeted it, but maybe not. Here it is. I don't know how I missed that. As I watch the pandemic spread its ugly face all across the world, including the tremendous damage it has done to the USA, I become more and more angry at China. People can see it, and I feel it. So, those are some strong words right there. Which led me to Deagle. So let's check that out. Notifications. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, if any of you guys falling for this, there's someone in here one night, and he seemed like a nice guy. And I tried to explain him, this Austin Steinbart, I don't even want to give this guy, he calls himself Baby Q, that he's totally a fraud. He's never answered my question, ever. And I said, I find you 100% fraudulent until you answer my Q. When you were showing in a video what was supposed to be top secret equipment, why did your badge not match what would be required in that situation? No matter what BS you come up with, dear CTR2 with TSSCI with Paulie. So I basically I've been calling him out on that. His YouTube, he deleted my comments. On Twitter, you can't really delete the comments. You can block the person, but more and more people have seen it. The last time I did this, I got a bunch of likes, and he just still ignored it because you know why? He's a fraud. He's like a professional con artist. So be careful of those types of people. A lot of professional con artists out there. Alright, so let's go right to it here. Alright, now you got the right screen up. Alright, so. Here we go. Oh, this is the. There we go. So, you look at these countries. Now, the first number you see is what it is. The first number you see is what they project their number to be. So, population. It looks like China's population goes down a tiny bit. India, their population goes up quite a bit. Russia stays about the same. Japan goes down quite a bit. Brazil ends up going up a little bit. The U.S., I mean, look at our population. Our population becomes lower than Japan. It goes under 100 million. Oh, and then underneath it is what our population is now. 326 million. Now, I've touched on this like 6 months ago. I touched on this. A lot of people were talking about it. But I thought that with some of the things happening, because the thing is, this isn't just something they put out once. No, this is updated daily, as you see up here, Tuesday, June 30th, 2020. And it's all based on gross domestic product and USD millions, military expenditures and USD millions, PPP, which is power purchase parity in USD, and USD, US dollar. So when you look at this, and you look at the United States down here, look at the changes. Our GDP goes from 19.3, or don't round it up, 0.4 million, all the way down to 2.44 million. You look at our military expenditures. We go from 637,000 to 32,000. I mean, the one thing I wonder is, how do we even still exist? I mean, I can only think of war, or we elect someone like Biden, and he finishes the 16-year plan they had. Or at least, the shadow government behind him does this. PPP. 59,500 down to 16,374. Now, who has the biggest gains? You see Russia with some big gains. GDP, 1.4 to 4.3. Look at China, 11.9 to 6 to basically 17. We're talking million population up to a billion, past a billion. India's up past a billion as well. What else sticks out? Look at that one. A lot on the military, as well as India. Yeah, India still. Yeah, it's just unbelievable when you look at some of these countries. Just to like really get down here, some of these countries, like who takes the biggest losses? I wonder. Oh, so they'll even show you the percentage. So Saudi Arabia must take some losses, being an ally of ours. 7%. Let's get back up to us. I want to see the percentages. Alright. Population. 70% of our population, according to this, will be gone in 2025. And I don't mean to fearmonger. It's just, this Deagle, I've seen it be like dead on. And it makes me wonder, what is it? And they don't like give an explanation. They just talk about how they talk to different intelligence agencies, you know, different, like they go into the markets, and, you know, they really get like a pulse, and they just see the U.S. Basically, it's almost as if the Rothschilds and them, you know, wait for a weak moment and decide, all right, time to pay up. It's almost like that. Because it's not like we're wiped off the planet. So, you know, you would think war, it would be neither withstanding. But then again, you know, most wars do end in treaties. I just couldn't believe, I couldn't imagine them beating us with the Navy. That's our strength, is the Navy. What's that say? So what's the percentage for that? 87% drop in GDP. 95% drop. And I believe that's military expenditure. Wow. 95% drop. So you know what? That does actually point to military. 72% drop. And that's like the power of the dollar, I believe. So I don't know. It really makes you think. I want to check out. It said up here 2017. So they weren't wrong here, right? I would actually say they were dead on. They were dead on 2017. Population, GDP. But they're expecting some type of and then view year 2025. It just seems like they don't think that we can keep up, especially with the coronavirus, all the spending we're doing with that. If a war was to happen at an inopportune time like now, especially when Trump's talking about how angry he is with China, and plus he's angry at the politics here back home. You get softball questions to a guy just coming out of his basement, and he's 10 points ahead of you in the polls, which I don't believe for 1 second. Which is why I do want to bring us to some Q And guys, I've been decoding Q. I'm actually stuck on one day. There's one day that I'm stuck on. But I've gotten some ideas, and I think I might get past it. I want to get like up to date, but then he just keeps posting. But he's been slowing down a little bit, so maybe I can get up to date and do that video. And I'll just like name it like, you know, QAnon decoded like you never seen before. You know, nothing to do with the message, 100% to do with the numbers. And he's definitely made it more difficult since, because I've been doing this for months, and all of a sudden this past week it's been much more difficult. Am I saying that he's hearing that I'm doing it? It's just no. I just think that they have ways of, you know, if someone picks up on certain things, they make it a little more difficult. And maybe it's also a sign that they don't want me putting that information out there. I do worry about that too. But then again, when they ask for a sign, if I shouldn't be doing it, they gave me, the thing they came up with, sign language. Remember that? So here's some of the, these are the times that triend souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country, but he that stands by it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered, yet we have this consolation with us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. What we attain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is our dearness only that gives everything its value. Heaven knows how to put a proper price upon its goods and souls. Oh, just being able to get there. And it would be no strange indeed if so celestial an article as freedom should not be highly rated. And this is something that we're seeing a lot of. As they're trying to tear down our history, we are trying to basically build up a second revolution. But a revolution that puts the power back to the people. For those who believe. I understand there's probably a lot of you out there who are skeptical, and that's fine. Because guess what? There's not that much time left. I mean, it's either going to be or not to be. What I do know is they've subpoenaed over 50 people, the exact people that I would think, leaving out some of the big dogs because, you know, that's kind of how it goes. It's like when you go after the mafia, you go after the small guys first, get some people to talk, get some people to get slipped up, and it starts opening up doors. Humanity is good, but when we let our guard down, we allow darkness to infiltrate and destroy. Like past battles fought, we now face our greatest battle at present, a battle to save our republic, our way of life, and what we decide, each of us, now will decide our future. Will we be a free nation under God, or will we cede our freedom, rights, Let's think about that. Rights and liberty to the enemy. We all have a choice to make. Evil, darkness, has never been so exposed to light. They can no longer hide in the shadows. Our system of government that has been infiltrated by corrupt and sinister elements. Democracy was almost lost forever. Think HRC install, 2+ Supreme Court justices, 200+ judges, rogue elements expanded inside DOJ, FBI, CIA, NSA, White House, state, removal, Second Amendment, border, etc. America for sale, China, Russia, Iran, Syria. This is all true. ISIS and Al-Qaeda expansion. Expansion, surveillance of domestic citizens. Well, the only thing I'm confused with that is we just had a chance to, well, you know what happened was the whole house didn't show up to vote. But we had a chance to shoot down the renewal of the Patriot Act. Yet only a few showed up. They picked someone to vote in their stead. And that was their way of getting around it without actually having their name attached to it. And the ones who did vote, you know, they're probably the ones out, you know, retiring or something afterwards anyway. Let's see. Modify, change voter rules and regulations, allow illegals and ballot harvesting with Supreme Court-backed liberal social opinion. Set off military to highest bidder to fight internal, long-standing wars. And you see that. You see it even today. It's like the military-industrial complex. They're trying to get us back in a war with Russia and or Afghanistan. Mostly Russia. If you guys have heard that latest news, with Russia paying for every American life, and they would pay that member of the Taliban, you know, X amount of money for taking each life. So they were fighting more for than, you know, because it got to a point where it was just like, you know, they had their little corner, we had the rest of it. The fighting became obsolete, and then all of a sudden the fighting started ratcheting up again, and that was due to that. Sell off of military to highest bidder Their thirst for a one world order, destruction of national sovereignty, serves to obtain control over America and her allies, think EU. Yep. By diluting your vote to oblivion and installing a new one world ruling party. The start of this concept began with organizations such as World Health Organization, World Trade Organization, United Nations, ICC, NATO, etc., all meant to weaken the United States. Maybe that's part of Deagle's thing. They don't believe that Trump can pull it off. Also, the formation of the EU through threat, of close proximity attack. Attack on one is an attack on all. Sales pitch to general public. Fear control. You know, you don't see all these bombings happening in France and some of the countries who might not, you know, see any benefit to it. You don't see that happening anymore. It's kind of funny how that works. The start of this concept began with organizations such as World Health. Regarding EU, did each member nation cede sovereignty to Brussels, which, by the way, Brussels is, their headquarters. Just like Kazakhstan is like the New World Order / like Illuminati / all that crap. Their headquarters. And the Dutch, I always talk about it, but the Dutch, there's something to their queen from the Treaty of 1812. The queen of the Dutch queen, like for instance, the most recent was the Queen Beatrice. They yield amazing power, and so does the English queen. The start of this concept began with organizations such as I keep going back to that. EU did each member must implement EU rules and regulations as all areas. Think immigration, currency, overall control. I mean, go to Europe and see how they feel about since they joined the EU. Unless it's like Brussels. Let's see. Their thirst to remove your ability to defend yourselves. Second Amendment. In all areas. Think immigration, currency, serves to prevent an uprising to challenge their control. There is fundamental reason why our enemies dare not attack or invade our borders, armed citizenry. It's because we are armed citizenry, which is mostly in the South, let's be honest. Yet, what are they going through? They got some type of weird dust cloud coming in from the Sub-Sahara, which I do worry about. I do worry about what's in that, because when you look at where all these numbers are coming from, where they're trying to claim that, oh no, not only the numbers, and as I showed you guys, the numbers don't mean crap, because as the testing goes up, the numbers go up. So will the hospitalizations, so that doesn't mean anything either. The number you want to look at is the deaths going up. If the deaths are going up, then you have a problem. And apparently that's the case in a couple small places. And it worries me what came along with that dust from the Sahara and the type of hurricane season we got coming in a couple months. If America falls, so does the world. Fact. So true. The whole third world falls. If America falls, darkness will soon follow. Only when we stand together, only when we are united, can we defeat this highly entrenched dark enemy. This is like what Trump wished he could just go up and say. And he has, to a point. The population, their power and control relies heavily on an uneducated population. A population that trusts without individual thought. A population that obeys without challenge. A population that remains outside of free thought and instead remains isolated, living in fear inside of the closed-loop echo chamber of the controlled mainstream media. Sound familiar? This is not about politics. This is about preserving our way of life and protecting the generations that follow. We are living in biblical times. Children of light versus children of darkness. united against the invisible enemy of all humanity. Wow, that was deep. Two positive patients in Mexico were quietly transferred and routed to California. The swelling numbers of COVID-19 patients entering the United States from Mexico comes as many parts of California have pushed down their infection rates, enabled many counties to lift stay-at-home restrictions and reopen businesses. Well, next. How do you maintain control of the narrative mail-in voting necessary and attempt to keep control of population? Next challenge, rising cases due to testing and Mexico to California. But overall decrease in death rates, nursing home scandal in public domain, no longer viable option. I mean, that was like their number one option, which really pisses me off as somebody who had a family member fall victims to that, although they are beating it. So this is what he's referring to. Probably basically the you see that? Whatever a lot of the stuff that he points to, they redirect you. Let's see what this is. The Lone Warrior. I'll be honest, sometimes I do get a little bit worried, because when you start talking about angels, I do get a little bit worried, because I do get a little bit worried. With some of this stuff. Only because, you know, the obvious fallen angel, you know, is supposed to be, you know, the angel of light. You know, that stuff does worry me. It's like, I hope I'm not leading people down the wrong path, but I always pray. And a buddy of mine does the same exact thing. I was watching him the other day. He's talked about it a few times. He always prays not to mislead people. He's a big YouTuber, and he prays not to mislead people. I do the same thing. I pray not to mislead people. So does a combination of prisoner release and mask mandates provide for a more dangerous environment to citizens? Yes. As an example, when we learned last week that Brand was about to use her authority to order an across-the-board release of hundreds of inmates serving city sentences. We were assured that the release would not include those serving time for domestic violence or sex offenses, given the risk to the victims. The letter states, unfortunately, we later learned that such individuals were indeed included in the ranks of those to be released. De Blasio said Sunday that more than 650 inmates have been released over coronavirus concerns. Again, and supposedly it was a mistake, but as somebody who was in one of these places for a short amount of time, they don't make mistakes like that. Unless somebody makes that mistake. Yeah, those types of mistakes don't happen unless they're meant to happen. People who are there for sex offenses and very extremely violent domestic situations, putting the victims in direct harm. And it goes on to say hundreds of prisoners released early from Rikers due to COVID concerns are being enabled to re-offend again and again without consequences, law enforcement leaders say. Cause and effect. Do you see what is happening? So it's not just like the regular population out there who are just brainwashed. We also have people who are being released purposely from these institutions where they're institutionalized, and all of a sudden it's like anarchy. I mean, they're first to join up, and they're the most grateful for their freedom. As long as they know that the system got their back, they'll do anything. And here we go, like clockwork. Let's see what he's talking about. Democratic Tennessee Rep. Cohen intros resolution for House to begin impeachment inquiry into Barr. And this was warned of probably about 2 to 3 months ago. And every week they would remind you, they'll be going after Barr, they'll be going after Barr, they'll be going after Barr. Sure enough, they're going after Barr. Has 35 co-sponsors, says Barr obstructs justice by favoring the president's friends and political allies. He abuses his power by using the DOJ to harass, intimidate, and attack disfavored Americans. And these disfavored Americans that he talks about are the ones who have been selling our country up the river. In my lifetime, your lifetime, our parents' lifetime, our grandparents' lifetime. I mean, it's just... And then as soon as you get one who's actually okay, like Kennedy, dead. Reagan, shot. I've heard mixed reviews on him, but Lincoln, killed by somebody, high-ranking degree Mason, by the way. So here's this guy's angry. This guy feels like a lot of us feel. I see what's happening, but I would like to. This isn't Q. This is one of the Anons. But I would like to see what you guys are doing about. What you guys are doing something about it already. We know all of this. We are helpless to it all. So the real question, Q, is, do you see what is happening? Ooh. And he says, fear not. We are not helpless. Enough must see. It is the only way. You are being presented with the gift of vision. So all these rallying in the streets and the craziness is going to come out of it. And there's going to be innocent lives lost, all that. We know the plan. We know we have that vision. Whereas, people on the outside, they're like, damn, what the hell is going on here? This isn't how it should be. And that's why they made sure to make it all Democratic-run cities and Democratic-run states. So, ability to see clearly what they've hid from you for so long. Illumination. Ooh, that's a heavy word. Their deception, dark actions, on full display. People are waking up en masse. People are no longer blind. Do you think it's a coincidence they banned and prevent you attending church, house, or worship? That is shady, right? You can go rally, you can throw the Molotov cocktail through in a police precinct, but you cannot, and you'll be applauded, but you cannot go and worship at your local church. Me, I'm more like a, like pray in secret, have your own relationship with God. I'm that type. Anti-American, anti-God. One must only look to see. Have faith in humanity. Have faith in yourself. Let light guide you. Find peace throughout prayer. Biblical. Oof. So I imagine he comes with some heat here. Just something to remind people what this is all about. Breaking. Joe Biden. I'm going to follow the doc's orders. I will not hold any rallies. I thought he said he's going to hold 3 rallies. Following the doc's orders. Yeah, sure, doc. How convenient. Joe Biden told reporters that he will hold no campaign rallies. I could have sworn that they said he'd hold 3. Joe Biden can't fill a gym. He's hoping the liberal media and tech giants will carry him over the finish line. And it seems like a good strategy so far. I just don't know how that plays towards the end. I just don't. This is huge. Huh. You know what I find odd about that? They bring up Pamela Anderson. Did you guys see Pamela Anderson on, did you guys see her on,
Mike's great relief. He doesn't have to follow me every day around the country.
Well, the last time, Mr. Vice President, a lot of us saw you on the campaign trail. You were still locked in a very difficult nomination battle. The polls, though, today show you with a sizable national lead, a lead in a lot of the states that are critical in the Electoral College. I wonder, where do you think the race stands at this moment? What keeps you up at night as you look ahead? And can you maintain this advantage without campaigning in a traditional way, especially this fall when voters begin to really tune in?
Well, you know, this is the most unusual campaign, I think, in modern history. In that, but I start off with the premise, Mike, that I'm going to follow the doc's orders, not just for me, but for the country. And that means that I am not going to be holding rallies. I am not going to be, for example, you all are here, but thank the school has put those circles around so we keep the social distancing. Everybody has masks on. As soon as I finish this, I'll put my mask back on. So it's almost all been virtual. Although I have gone to Houston, I have gone into Pennsylvania, I have gone to Virginia, I have traveled, but what I do, I get in, make my case, and leave, take questions, and leave. But you know me, I'd much rather be out there with people because that's where I get the greatest feel. I can get a sense of by the look in their eyes, by the plaintive voices that they have, or what they're concerned about. But notwithstanding that, I have been surprised. The irony is we probably reach more people directly on one-on-one. You all, particularly those of you who are with the television stations, you all know that when you're on, you're having a one-to-one conversation with someone out there because there's one person on TV looking at you. I never thought of it that way before, but they tell me 200 million people have watched what I have done from home and the half a dozen things we've gone out and done. And so the irony is, I think we're probably communicating directly in detail with more people than we would have otherwise. But I'd much rather be doing it in person. So far, it remains to be seen. I don't want to jinx myself. I know the polling data is very good, but I think it's really early. It's much too early to make any judgment. I think we got a whole lot more work to do. I plan on laying out in detail my economic plan as to how we recover from this, plan on dealing with foreign policy, working out in detail what I'm going to do if I am elected president so people know what's coming. So I don't know if that answers your question.
So, it doesn't answer my question because I could have sworn that in that fiasco today, he said that he would do 3 debates. If you guys just go back and look, you'll see that. So last Q post, what's he say? How do you prevent public embarrassment regarding lack of crowd size? Well, sounds like a good one. How do you continue the con regarding fake polling lead? How do you support mail-in ballot election fraud? Election was not rigged. All polls show Biden had double-digit lead versus POTUS example. Now, this is kind of like a desensitization of all of us. And we're all being desensitized to believe that Biden is up in the polls. Why? I don't know. But supposedly he's up in all these key areas. In all the battleground states, he's way up. Well, when they poll, but I know there has to be a counter plan. to expose it. But, we'll see how it goes. A lot can be done. When you bail out the USPS, a lot of votes can be added, a lot of votes can be taken away. So we'll see how that goes. Also, illegals can vote. There's a lot of ways around a lot of different things that normally wouldn't fly when you go to a voting booth, and if your name is not there and you don't have your ID, then you don't vote. You need your ID for your medication. You should definitely need to vote for the president of this country, especially at a time like this. So let me just show you a small example of what I do. You see the delta here? The 14 matches the 14, they're going to cancel out, so basically 47, so 13 minutes. 13 minutes is the delta. What we have over there is 12:47:40. It's got to be more to it. Like clockwork. There's something to that. So let's look at the time of the post. Like clockwork. 35. 15 hours ago. 11:09. And there's also a 35 in there. Let's keep that in mind. So 11. Sorry, I have a million wires to the mic. I just happened to pick a bad one. It looked like a good one, but it's a bad one. Okay, so what do we say? 11:09 or 11:0? I just want to show you guys. And I just do this all the way through. It's not bringing me directly to it. Come on. There we go. So, 11:09. Also, June 30th. Keep that in mind. Okay. But 35. We want to keep that in mind, too. So, 11:09, June 30th. Okay. And, let's see. 11:09. Like clockwork. This could be very important. Anytime a clock or a watch is mentioned. Very, very important. Okay. So, 11:09. You see here, like I said, the delta. Look, the 14s just happened to match. Alright, so he made it, so he matched the 14. Boom, that goes out. You are 1 hour ahead, but you're at 00. So basically 47, so the delta is 13. 11:09. Let's see what 11:09 does to 12:47:40. The 11:09, by the way, is going to apply to the minute and the second. So 11 here would be so 11. So we got 58, and then 09. So 58, 49, 58, 49, 58 and 49, 58 and 49. We have a 13 delta. but we have a 0. So we're just sitting there at 13. So we're at, like, you know, okay, so 13. And that comes out to what? So if you just, without the 1109, this would come out to 1340. Right? So 1340. Might actually be the opposite one. So then 1109, right? Sometimes these will switch position, by the way, as well. I'm just doing this on the fly. You know what? There might be a post before it that's revealing. Yeah. This might be, 4 times in 3 months. 330. Where'd it go? I'm telling you, they take these tweets down so you can't, like, prove it like this. But just from what I'm seeing here, in 21, 27. Just, so we get that 13, it's just the 40 will be left over. I'm a little bit confused on this one. 1109. You know what? I think I would have to do the whole day in order for it to make sense. And there was a lot of posts in that day, so I'd have to start from the beginning of the day. There's some numbers I'm missing here. That would make it make sense. All of those show by double GT as this example. I just am not seeing it. 1109. I mean, 11 plus 12. No. Let's see, what would 1109 do to this? So maybe 13. 5640. $13.56.40. The delta that we have is actually, see, we're the middle delta. Are we exactly in the middle here? 1109. I can find out right now. So let's just forget about the 1109 for now. Maybe we should. Let's see. So 48, 47. You have almost an exact 1 hour delta. Almost an exact 1 minute and 1 second delta. Maybe it would be 1109. Because basically you're looking at exactly from here to there. You're looking at exactly 2 minutes, 1 minute, 2 hours, 1 minute, and 57 seconds. So it would actually be 2 hours, 0 minutes, and 57 seconds. Now what does a 1109 delta do? That 9 doesn't complete the 57 seconds. So 1109, 113, 148. Oh, we're getting somewhere here. And then 141. With 13, 14 in between. Or is it the 1247? No, it would be the. No, we already got that. 1247. The 14. We're pretty close. We're pretty close. It basically, it looks like some math at the beginning, but do you see how that works out? So, 1109. Imagine it, 1 for the hour, 1 for the minute, 1 for the second. You look at this post here. 1 for the hour, 13. 1 for the minute, 48. 1 for the minute, the second, 41. That would make it 13, 48, 41. Whereas the last one is 14, 48, 37. Which makes 4 the difference. Which brings us down to 56. Half of 56 would be 28. And a quarter of 28 is 14. But it's got to be this one. So a quarter is 14. So that's 1/4 of the way to the next one. This represents 1/4 with the 1109 on its way to this one. I find that interesting. There's definitely something there. The math doesn't just work out like that. 1, 1, 1, you know? What if we put it over here? Over here. 1, 1, 1. No, still doesn't. It's definitely interesting. So you start flipping numbers. 1109, 13, 48, 41, right there, 14. So 14, 37 minus 14 automatically brings you to 23. 23. Does that mean 23 more something? 23 more. But then we're reminded here about the delta. 23. The delta is exactly 13. And 3 and 13 is 34. 34. 23 and 13 is 34. What did I say that day 0 was from that date? Well, the math comes out to July 3rd. Or, June 33, But day 0 is Independence Day. So when you actually add up 37 plus with the delta, right? We're getting there. The 09, the 49. How did I get that? I almost want to rewind and realize how I got that, because I know I got it legitimately. Anyways, it came out to 44. I'm sorry, 34. Came out to 34. 44 to 28. Oh yeah, we used May 1. That's 14. Brings it down to 34. No, 36. I don't know, somehow I forget. I had to rewind it, but I just, if I was, hopefully I was saying it out loud, but it came out to 34. How did I get that 34? And 1, and 1, added 1, and 9. Also, that'd be 23. Yeah, 37 minus the 23. Still, I don't get 34, I get 24. So how did I get that? I don't know. I'll be going over this. I'm going to be doing a whole show on this. There's one day I'm stuck on. I'm not going to say the day. But I've been moving right along. It's been getting more difficult. Noticeably more difficult. But, yeah. However, I just got 34. That sticks out like clockwork. It's going to be over here. Like 34. get to here, be 13 plus, well, you take it away, that should be 12, that's 20, plus 34, there it is, 34, there's 34, 40, going to 14, so it's 34. Then you have that 11, 9, 1, 9. I don't know. I just, all I know is that comes out to day 0 on our little countdown. Alright, so anyways, guys, I want to know what you guys think about Deagle. I've been doing some research into it, and they've been, they show all the different agencies that they use to get the results that they get. So, if you believe in those numbers, please explain why in the comments. I want to see a comment section that's like full of like, you know, reasons why this may be. When I say comments, like not just the live chat, because sometimes, you know, depending on the video, if I say some stuff they don't like, they don't let the live chat through. So like in comments, like, do you agree, do you disagree? If you do disagree, then why? Like, what is it that you found? I'm hoping to find somebody who finds some type of flaw in what they're doing, but from what I've read, it seems to be based on legitimate sources. They've been correct in the past, and I just want to see what you guys think of this. So I broke it up here in a tweet. So you know what? Let me pin this one. So look, that's us live right now. I'll have to change the title. I don't know how the title will be. It's another thing. I gotta change the title. Alright, so I'm gonna pin this. So if you guys want to come check it out, again, I changed the name on the Twitter. Alright, it's the name on the Twitter. It's not just Red Pill Dispenser, it's Red Pill Dispensary, just like you used to. So, shouldn't be any problems there. Alright, so that's right at the top. You see, first I show China, 2025. And then when it was is basically, I should have put today. And today, and what their numbers are. And then the U.S., 2025 was, meaning today. So as far as that Deagle thing, both of them have links. You can click here, you can click on the other one, and really look into it. So let me know what you guys think. And with that, let me check on you guys here. Okay. Here we go. Alrighty. Oh. Alright, so with that, it's been happening all night. It's been happening, you know. Sometimes like the good mics, you know, they're not exactly the greatest mics. So anyways, with that, I just want to say is the Red Pill Dispensary. If you guys could please leave your comments on what you guys think in the comment section, And also, we're not. I just got an account on something called. I'd have to look it up. What is the name of it? It's a good one. A lot of big channels are going over there. Apparently, it's like legit Wild Wild West. Unlike what people told me about. So what's the name of this thing again? I'm on it right here. Oh damn, Bongino's on here. Eric Trump's on here. Mark Levin. Oh wow, so it's like a lot of so you can say whatever you want. Pala. P-A-L-E-R. I guess a lot of people put an A-R-O-R. It's Power. P-A-L-E-R. So I'm on that. I'm also on LBRY. I don't know why those options on here for Restream. And there's the Restream options, which they're not going to let me show. But, obviously, let me see. Maybe it's right here. Maybe not. Anyways, it's you know, the regular, it's everywhere. It's, let me see. Oh, shoot, I didn't even do an upload for this one. I don't have anything on the computer. Get an actual, right, this is the right one. Right. Hope this is the right one. If I don't change my logo to something stupid. Come on. Anyways, guys, alright, so I'll figure all this out, all the technicality. I haven't used this Restream in a while. Participants' names. Okay. I didn't even do that. But then again, I didn't write in chat either. primary color should be red. See, I haven't fixed all this in a while. I haven't really used this in a while. Sorry, this is just like dead time. But, so red pill. Just add that. This upload, though. I should be able to upload the background, the overlay. So, look, the title. So hopefully that'll change. Alright, good. That should change it. Alright, good. So by the way, so we're on Twitch. We're on we're on both YouTube channels. We're on Periscope. My Facebook page got taken down, but I do still have a Facebook like regular page. It's not a group. DLive, they no longer accept me. I don't even know why that's up, because if I go to click on it, as soon as you go to click on DLive, Red Pill Dispensary channel has been suspended. It's so funny how right after one of my channels goes suspended, or my, for instance, Discord goes suspended, then all of a sudden, there's a certain YouTube channel that decides that all of a sudden they're suspended. I don't know, I find that a little bit, I don't know, just tell it like it is, and just, there's no shame in your game if you just tell the truth. Is he lying? Probably not, but it's just a little weird. I don't know. It's like every time I get suspended for something, you're suspended from it too. I don't know. Anyways, guys, Red Pill Dispensary. You know where to come for the truth. Find something on Deagle so I can sleep at night, because I do not like what I see. What we're looking at is 70% of the population gone, 90% of our military, expenditures gone, 85% of our GDP gone. This is what I want to find more about Deagle, so if someone can get me more information. I looked over this 6 months ago, but this is alarming with what's going on. Unless they're banking on Biden making it, or they really have like this foolproof mail-in ballot system, and this whole coronavirus was just all about getting Trump out. And you do kind of get like a kind of feeling from the Trump administration. So we'll see how it goes. But until then, it is the Red Pill Dispensary. And I just want to let you guys know, I see you, Firefly, I see you, Share Bear, Tony Salamini, how you doing, brother? What name on power? Should be the same name, Red Pill Dispensary. Should be. I'm pretty sure it's. You know what? I could pull it up right now and tell you for sure. Should be Red Pill. So, by the way, on Parler, this is something, and it's ER. Parler ER, ends in ER. My name is actually right now it's just my email. So it's Mikey Lynch, MikeyLynch 87. Mikey Lynch. That's what it is for now. I'll be doing all the, I'll be setting up the whole profile. I set it up right before I went live. So, Mikey Lynch. Same email that goes to this, to my YouTube. So, Mikey Lynch. MikeyLynch. Mikey Lynch 87. Alright, guys. So, with that, Brightfly, I see you, brother. Sure Bear getting ready to work out. That's what I like to see. What else do we got? What else? Tony. So I hope that answered your question. And by the next time you go on there, I should have a whole profile set up, ready to go. Trip, good to see you. Of course, Tony again. Dame Jade. And again, I said it at the beginning, but false people at the end. Dame Jade made a very just amazing contribution to this channel, where she said, here you go, and she gave me, and I already was up to a certain figure, and it was really Tony who had gotten me there, and all of a sudden she was just like, boom, get one of the better green screens. So that's what we get coming in the mail. I'm actually looking at green screens right now. I'll have one picked by, if not tonight, tomorrow morning. So we have a green screen coming. We have good things coming for this channel. And then she was nice enough to say, what's left over, spending the family. But I really want to get like one of the higher quality green screens now that I have an opportunity. I have enough money to take care of my family, and it's like, when it comes to the channel, I mean, you guys make it. I mean, to me, it's like the Jade, the Tony Jade screen, It's like, so thank you in particular to you two for the screen. So we'll have a green screen soon. That'll be friggin' awesome. I mean, we'll have all the news behind me. Although I do like the brick, and we'll find ways to still make it work. I'll think of the type. There's so many different types that you can launch from the bottom up, or bottom down, or they're just stationary, or they're more for like photo and video shoots, or they're more stationary. There's so many different types. I'm gonna get one with like a lighting system. It'll be really nice. So again, thank you guys. So it's actually Power, ER, if I'm not mistaken. I know that like Power, like the way you spell power, is different. Because trust me, growing up in Boston, I didn't know until I was in the military that, like, alright, come to the power. Just little things that we say, like, I don't know, there's a lot of things like that, like power. People from Boston say that, but no, it's Power. It's Power with an ER, as far as the app goes. Alright, so with that, Red Pill Dispensary. And thank you so much again, Dame Jade, Tony, And Dean J, thank you for getting us over the top there.